10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Cap, Merlini, and Merlini's friend, I can't remember his name. And a random, actually, we queued as 4, and just a random guy who picked Darkseer and did all the right things. And then I used 2 treasures and got nothing. Yeah, I haven't seen one yet.
DC's turn to ban. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I think NP, to be honest. They look better, but
Reserve time.
DC, it's either NP or DC, I think. Cole will have to kind of get lucky, otherwise it's not really going to work out. I think they've got, Cole have a Dialcom and they have NP left, and they're probably going to lose at least one game to NP. So yeah.
DC's turn to pick.
It's a StarLadder man, Fishman, the man who stuns. Oh yeah, well, some teams break StarLadder over that because, yeah, Underlord, well, he's good in lane, he's good in late game, he's good versus carries, he's good at defending, he's good at split pushing, he's good at, well, pretty much everything, but StarLadder's just StarLadder. But they could just go Rubik Underlord, or they could go Rubik something else and just kind of leave Underlord there. But I don't, yeah, I think maybe teams, everyone was like, oh my god, Underlord's the most broken thing ever, and then they went, actually, we can kill that hero, and then they went, okay, we like Ember Spirits and Rubiks more than we like Underlord, so yeah, I think DC, yeah.
10.
What?
DC's turn to ban. Dire team ban.
Alright, so one out of those 2 heroes is not going to have a fun early game. Now, StarLadder is I don't know, Infamous seemed like the kind of team that would actually just straight up run the StarLadder on a, like, more farmed than running around as a 4 kind of thing. You know, like, you see Liquid play and GH just runs around, he's happy having, like, Tranquil Boots and win lay someone to the point where they win the fight, and then he wins a fight, gets 2 kills, and then runs off and farms a Blink Dagger in 2 minutes. And then that happens at any time between, like, 10 minutes and 20 minutes, but I don't know if Infamous seem like the kind of people to do that kind of thing, you know? Because they, yeah. Yeah.
10 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
They ban
Reserve time.
Ursa, Abaddon, and Nyx have both been removed. Abaddon is the scourge of the US scene and servers. Play a pub, and you end up playing versus Abaddon. If you play Ember Spirit and you play versus Abba, there's actually very little you can do in the early game if that Abaddon wants to make sure you can't do much. Because he just follows you around and basically runs at you. It means you can't sit there and fight him because he just kind of is unkillable. And then he shields every single person you try and slight chains. Is really, really obnoxious, and if you ever commit, he just heals them, and then you're going to go, okay, I've got no remnants now, and everyone's alive and hitting me. So,
10 seconds
yeah.
remaining.
Abaddon, good ban.
5 seconds
remaining. Pretty much most of this comes down to can't really kill Nyx, and can't really kill Abaddon, and Abaddon just kind of ruins everything. So yeah, pretty wise.
Pudge.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining.
Yeah, you can do things like that. You can basically just slight chains people at any point in late game, and then yeah, it's pretty much just a guaranteed hook. It actually starts becoming a thing. Like as soon as Ember starts hitting like level 12, 13, like you have high levels in slight. I think like once you hit like level 3 slight, that's when you can reliably do it, and then you can basically just kill people, and it's not much they can do about it. You can find Slardars and Dooms, and I think it's weird because like having Slardar and Doom on the same team is like, if either of those heroes dies early on in the fight, like it's just not easy to battle unless you've got like a really big core, right? So I think Infamous they're gonna have to have a good laning stage, and they're gonna have one of these heroes is gonna have a lot of farm, I think. Oh, if it's the Doom, like
Dazzle.
DC's turn to pick.
yeah, you'd think so.
Axe.
Dire team pick.
Yeah, I think DC are basically just gonna go, okay, if we're gonna win the laning phase pretty hard, you just send Axe up there. If they don't have enough to deal with him, he's just gonna go, okay, I'm gonna get a Blink Dagger and a Vanguard. Yeah, this is probably one of those kind of Vanguard games, because you don't really need a dagger that soon against those heroes. If Pudge gets anything, I think this game's going to be really hard, because Dazzle's going to be running around trying to grave people, and then the people he's trying to grave are going to be suddenly 1,300 units away.
DC's
It's just
turn to
lots of
ban.
strength heroes with, yeah.
Dire team ban.
Yeah, I'm just working out where the Doom's going, really. That's the thing I'm working out. TA ban for DC, they don't want to. And you could just have a TA mid with Ember, and then you could put Stardust or a Timbersaw safe lane, either one, really. Probably Timber safe lane for the most part, just to make sure you always have a good matchup versus the Axe. But then, yeah, they could just have a TA, and then he could Roche at any point with Stardust. Okay, what is going? Okay, yeah, so that's a Windrunner, a Wind Ranger. And this lanes decently versus Ember. It's not the best hero in the world. It kind of struggles versus Ember in late game, because when Ember gets a Linken's Windrunner, it's just kind of like, what do I do? But up until that point, there's lots of opportunities for kills. You get any kind of Slardar blink kind of with ulti. He's very good at killing Doom people, because lots of people are killing Doom people. But yeah.
Reserve time.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, Infamous's draft just looks really annoying to play against if they have lots of farm on their team. But the question is like, can they get that requisite farm? Is what I'm worried about. Right, Infamous.
Weaver.
Yeah, I think Infamous's draft is a bit like who goes where, you know, kind of, will he or won't he? Will Timbersaw go to the safe lane versus the Axe, or will StarLadder? It's like, DC, Weaver's going to hit creep to the safe lane, Ember's going to go middle, Pudge is going to roam around, Ruby's probably going to help the Weaver out, and Axe is going to get whatever he can, wherever he can. So, I'm just looking at, I think, because on any given team at any point, one hero on one role is probably going to get more farm than he should relative to normal because of how the enemy team plays, and someone's going to suffer a bit more. It really depends, because I think it's probably going to be Misery. Misery's probably going to be the guy who profits from the early game, somehow. If he does, then he gets to make everyone's life miserable. But if it's someone else, like if it's Axe, then he gets a fast dagger, and then, well, Dazzles and Windrunners become rather sad. If it's Ember, then they just don't really have much apart from Doom to kill an Ember this early on. Like, they need to catch him with a lot of heroes, like 3 or more if it's not Doom. Yeah, and the Weaver, he's probably going to become difficult to kill as well. So I'm just kind of worried that, like, if anyone from DC has a good start, I think this game is pretty... It feels comfortable for them.
30 seconds to battle.
Must seem like the kind of team to be folded on to an upset, so I don't know. So yeah, I think so. They just beat people they shouldn't. I don't think it was the same roster that old Infamous used to beat FDL all the time when they shouldn't have on paper and things like that. But they do have support Doom. They've got Dazzle with the smoke, Windrunner, stereotypical mid items. Slardar's going to be going safe lane. That's probably the interesting thing going on. So if he gets left alone too much, this Axe is going to have a field day. Also, Timber, like, Timber's just not going to have fun down here. Unless Dazzle helps him out. Even then, I don't think that seems very enjoyable. Yep, that's for Infamous, that is the worst hero to get first blood. Pudge running around with boots, like, he can just start threatening Windrunner, and then I think if this guy I think it's like early enough Tranquils, and then he gets like level 3 at a decent time, he can just threaten everyone. Yeah, but in terms of like the element of surprise or whatever for Doom, yeah, that kind of is a fact. Obviously, like, there's a faster Slardar blink which people are gonna have to worry about, but obviously he kind of telegraphs his ganks by going missing from the top lane. Oh my. Oh, that crit is something I did not miss. Yeah, oh, it's the sword. Yeah, he's doing pretty well here. Yeah, the element of surprise, yeah, it does lots of things. The Doom level 6 is probably going to be faster than they expect because yeah, he's just running around getting bounty runes now. He's also got a little purge creep, although he doesn't really have the mana to use it. But he will, shortly enough. And we are and Winner are both contesting for this rune. We have all...
The rune of regeneration.
Timber, no.
Shame in searing heat. Lovely.
Yeah, they need to do this lane switch. The Timber was unable to lane bottom. He had the makings of a poor man shield in his quick buy, but he was a level 1 Timber Saw with React. If he can't get away from Pudge, if Pudge gets on top of him, he's instantly dead. And given that Pudge has boots and a windlace, laning bot was not a feasible option. So, he moves to the top lane, and then he's like, there's an Axe here, but at least there's a double creep wave. But Axe is still very much here. And, yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
The mark.
Now you dwell. Captured in the flame. Excommunicated. Let death become peace. That should help.
Ooh. That's it. Well, Saxo was like trying really, really hard to Esther the StarLadder, and StarLadder decided he'd had enough of that, so he just went and killed him. And then Weaver is so far ahead now.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
We just can't really go bot. Sardar's probably going to come down here and he's just going to get harassed maybe for a few seconds, and then he's going to go, I can't really deal with this, someone else come down here, and then Timber's going to come down there, and then the same thing's going to happen again. Now Weaver's about to hit 6, it's just going to get a little bit worse.
You're safe.
Oh, you're a traitor.
In lowest hell.
Yeah. That's good. That's one of the best moves this team can make. Level 4 at 5 minutes, he's doing okay in terms of levels. Oh, there's a potential hook coming out on Timbersaw top lane. Sax is just kind of waiting for it. But Timber knows what's up.
Dire's middle tower is under
Every
attack.
coin helps.
No sorcery lie.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Time to punch.
Yeah, that's the danger with picking Timbersaw with like a not sure lane. Like Timber is usually reserved for like, hey, we're going to put him solo safe lane versus somebody, and that somebody's going to be very, very sad because he's laning versus a Timber. But in the situation like this where he's not sure where he's meant to be laning and he's just trying to get something or anything, it's really, really, it's like an unstable way of playing almost, you know?
Your place is here.
Oh,
Thank these embers well. Inferno takes you. Let's
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I said good day, sir!
Misery hits level 5 a decent time. He's got smoke, he's got tranquils, and he's probably going to go and run at the Windrunner for a little bit. Who, in turn, has phase roots and is working on a 1, but Infamous, even though they're killing the Ember, Ember's pretty underfarmed, but apart from that... No, but he can show up if he does want to. I think the only thing he has to worry about really is showing up to a fight and getting StarLadder ulted or doomed. And StarLadder ulted into Shackle or doomed is pretty much the worst case scenario for him. So as long as he keeps farming it, that doesn't happen, but Moon is getting ran at.
Ruin of double damage. Shallow wave.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Get over it!
He doesn't go down without giving Weeheart a little bit of a purge, so he's still annoying him no matter what. Weeheart's thinking about doing something? No. Windrunner's not going to allow that to happen. Oh my. Oh, StarLadder with the 9-minute dagger coming out. Oh, Doom.
Hit!
They will take it, but DC... Rez is basically like, okay, I took my safe lane tower, I do not feel comfortable just AFK farming, I would like to hit buildings. So he's just hitting the tier 1 mid, which they're probably going to get in the next wave if they don't... if I don't devote a large amount of resources to it, but they will. They're sending 4 heroes here. Especially with the StarLadder dagger, you can't really hang around because you could just get Blink stunned into StarLadder ulti into a Shadow Weave, and then...
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, this is what they need to do. Like, if you look at the farm, you see Weaver's, he's got like Perseverance, Treads, Bites to Achilles, like got pretty much everything he wants. And you've got StarLadder who went, I'm going to use that same amount of gold on a dagger. Well, not same amount, but that same time to farm a dagger. And he seems to be doing stuff with it. So they kill Moon, which Moon does have his dagger, so it's not the worst death in the world. He loses an enormous amount of gold, but there's going to be a fight. I think DC want to use this axe dagger, and he probably wants a little bit of space, so he probably wants a fight to happen somewhere else on the map. So the support's probably going to try and make something happen top, and then they start pinging the tier 1 tower top to finish that tower off. So if they can just make the fighting happen away from this Ember for a little bit to allow him to become relevant, hit that level 10, get plus 15% spell amp, then I think DC should be pretty happy.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Never refuse gold given.
Could be worse.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Did they just die to... Okay. That's interesting. Oh, Weeha's coming in. Doesn't have Flame Guard though.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah, DC's... it's kind of going a bit weird because their main fighting hero out of the cause is the Ember, but... Okay. Yep. I was just saying that the Emperor is the main hero they want to fight with. They want to get the fast Veil, then they want to like kind of snowball everything past that. So he's just really good at fighting in the game. But basically, the Weaver, they don't really want to fight with him until Linken's because it's really easy for him to get doomed, as you saw in the last fight. And if he gets slowed down too much, then he kind of falls off fairly quickly. Especially because damaging heroes like Windrunner and Timbersaw, even Sodom might get a bit too tanky. They really want the Resolution to be the hero that farms on the other side of the map from the action up until that Linken's. But because Ember got so far behind, he had to be the one to fight, so... And then they lose, or kind of go even in that fight. So it's not the ideal situation for DC, but they're doing okay, I think.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
No more.
Nobody checks me.
Time to post. Dark light.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yep, they're just losing fights right now. Is not don't want to take fights right now. This is not the point where they want to be battling. They want the Weaver Linken's. They really do. And if I was just kind of taking advantage of that. Admittedly, they're not accruing a huge advantage right now, but the Doom's about to get Midas and 300 gold, and then that's when things start to kind of, well, get out of control, because Doom is the main hero that's going to be a problem, I think, in this game. StarLadder, he's had his little bit of an impact, and they're kind of playing around his Blink Dagger now, but the Doom is the one that's going to be the main focus, I think. Because there's going to be Shackles flying out of Fog on Weaver, and then follow-up Dooms, and that's going to be the main way they're going to win fights, like 30 minutes plus, so... yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Come and get it. You are done. Triple kill! Yeah!
Yeah, I'd say that buyback was worth. Yeah, so Wheel's a little bit sad there because sometimes you drop a remnant and you're like, okay, there's no disables ready, they have no Stardust done, and then you get hit by the 10% bash, and then you die. And that's when it gets really, really, really sad. But he's alive now. He kind of didn't really profit from that fight, but Moon definitely did, who's starting to work on his 4-star now, so...
Is under attack.
A soldier's fortune.
Yeah. Well, they're living in the post-Lincoln's world now, so it's a dangerous world to live in. I think Doom does have his Midas, and he's starting to go for, like, he's going to go for mech into guarding grooves, and then he's probably going to be as tanky as possible, and then he's going to be throwing fire swords at everybody, but I just think with this Weaver having Lincolns, he can play quite far up, and they don't like spam picking everyone out. They know that Infamous are farming this area. Everyone's like kind of tentatively trying to avoid a fight. Weeha's like going, okay guys, I need my dagger, I'm actually just getting kind of shredded here, so... Yeah, he doesn't have follow-up. See, what Katara's doing is every single time Weaver shows up, he doesn't care if the Shackle's actually going to do anything. He's just throwing Shackles out because that means Weaver has to play back. Because Weaver gets doomed, they do not have enough save. Like, if there is a Stardar missing on the map, if there is a Timbersaw who can chain in, that Weaver will die if he gets doomed. There is not much that can prevent that, short of him like getting hooked out extremely far away. So, they need to back out as soon as that Weaver Lincoln is broken, so just kind of something... It's like an unselfish play for him. He's not going to get the kill himself, but it just means that Weaver's day is a little bit worse off. And Weaver, who is now going for a defusal, is sitting pretty happy hitting this tower because it can't actually kill him straight up. They can scare him if they have enough heroes, but they don't quite have enough heroes.
Lovely!
Yeah, if this game goes super late game and like Doom isn't incredibly big, Windrunner's gonna have a problem, sure. Like Windrunner will, Ember's gonna get a Lincolns eventually, and he's gonna have a Mjolnir and all kinds of things. But right now, as soon as he gets Axe, he's probably gonna be able to tear Ember apart. He's gonna be pretty good at killing the Axe, even through Call with like Maelstrom and things like that. Pudge needs to be very careful because he dies very, very quickly, especially with StarLadder on the map. So there's lots of people he can kill, but he's gonna last and be that way, like after his Axe for quite a while. But he doesn't really have access to much farm.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Invisibility!
Yep, there's just not much counterplay. If Pudge gets gone on, he is the save. Like, the hook is the save. If he dies, then... But if he just gets stunned at the beginning, especially caught with the Axe, like, there is not much follow-up they can do. So... Like,
Radiant's top
the only way they
tower
would
is
win a fight like
under
that, with that initiation, if Weaver's already hitting the Dazzle, and the Dazzle's forced to like grave himself, and then Ember goes in and like gets on the Windrunner, and then forces him to Windrunner, and then they just kind of stall out the fight from there. But it's all very, very, very difficult to kind of do, so Infamous, if they get the jump like that, then they're pretty much guaranteed a teamfight win, or at least control of their own jungle. They haven't quite found this aggressive Observer Ward, which means they're going to be sitting as 3.
Every coin helps.
Oh, what is this? Ah, and they get it. Got the ward indeed, so... Yeah, it was just a range winner and decided to go bop it. So, another Angst becomes closer. Timbersaw grows richer. He's got Yules and he's about to get boots of travel, so they won't feel so trapped on their map now. Because a big symptom of how they've had to play is, like, sure, they can defend their own jungle and they've got some good fights, but they've done it at the result of losing half this HP on their mid-tier or bottom tier 2 tower, some HP on their mid-tier 2, and generally they're just not really farming the lanes, which is why this game is a lot more... well, this game is just very, very even overall, and you'd expect Infamous to have slightly more farm because of like the way they've been winning fights recently, but now with the ability to win, win the lane pushing war, at least for a time, it should be okay. But Resolution's going to make its way back up top.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Fire season is over.
Go!
Yeah, this Aegis will make it very, very, well, it'll make it slightly more convenient to take fights. Ember's now starting to realise the reality of living in a world with a now Aghanim but yeah. The thing about Infamous is if you go on them, you're pretty much guaranteed to win the fight. Yeah, it's pretty much mostly the person who kind of goes in will be the more favoured. Yeah, pretty much. But DC obviously they have the ability to kind of stand there now. They have the Aegis on Weaver. Weehar's got the Blink and Veil, so he's kind of feels a little bit more confident playing up. But oh, Timbersaw's getting harassed a bit. But I'm just really wondering, how do Infamous like get the ganks going when they don't really have any tier 2s left? Do they feel comfortable smoking out from their base? I think any move they make is going to be rather obvious at this point, but they still have a chance. They have a chance of catching Misery, but I think overall Saxon and Misery are playing way more careful than they were before. Kind of really limits the opportunities. Yep, so Weaver is going for the Mjolnir and Ember's going for the Radiance, but before they get both these items they're probably going to take the bot here too. Yeah, I like this item build from Weaver. He's probably not going to get that much done with just a Deso because obviously there's a Timbersaw who is not even easy to kill even with a Desolator. Maelstrom is just nice for pushing out lanes because, well, they have Ember for that as well, but it's just, Mjolnir's a nice item to have from Weaver. Especially if you've already gone.
flight! No! Double kill.
Yep, you can't do that. You can't run with Doom and Sardar right next to each other, walking uphill into a place where you know there's 4 or 5 DC heroes. That's just not something you can afford to do.
A snag in your timeline.
It's just an Aegis.
There's a snag in your plans.
Such a casual tap with the massive axe.
Radiant's
Sucks are just getting.
attack.
Yeah. Valkyria thought his destiny was to become the farm position 1 starter, but he's got his blink and his Shadow Blade and he knows this is all he's going to have for a while, but Weehar's getting looked at.
Captured in the flame. Shadow Wave. A brave for you. Shamed in searing heat.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
More losses.
Out of my way!
I think going for the Doom was a bit much. They had to kind of commit the Rubik and the Pudge to go for that. Obviously losing the axe to get the jump as well wasn't really ideal. So yeah, they kind of overstayed a little bit. They weren't really hitting the building. But they are farming in this time, so overall I think this downtime, DC aren't like not farming, so it's not the worst thing ever. I think they may have missed an opportunity, but they've got plenty of others in the future.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
I'm pretty sure that's actually just Cristiano, by the way, not Katara.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Now, okay, the Queen is just gonna walk around. He's looking for Shivas. He's gonna get it at some point. I think he's the one that's really gonna be able to farm on the side of Infamous, but it's just there's gonna be a point. It may not be now, it may not be in the very near future, but when he's not gonna be able to kill the Weaver or the Ember without very much aid from the Sardar and the Doom. Doom's kind of going for the Blade Mail now, so he's kind of realised he's disintegrated the Ember Spirit a bit too much in the last 10 to 15 minutes. It's not really worth, like, I think the way people play Doom now is just you become as tanky as possible and you walk in and you people with the Sword of Fire and just be annoying, really. Like,
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
I think it's just having the Doom just for the solo kill and like the kill potential on the Ember. Because they picked it versus the Ember, the Weaver was the last pick, so...
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Right, DC still have to play very carefully now. Like they've got the plate mail and Pudgy's going Lotus. When they get that, they feel a little bit safer, but Weaver still needs to go for a BKB, which he is going now. Sax is probably going to be going for the Yule Scepter at this point. Moon's farm kind of stagnated. He's sitting just barely ahead of the Doom. All in all, if it was just they're going to wait down here. Misery's probably going to walk up that hill. He's got the gem, so StarLadder's going to have to make a little bit of a tactical retreat, but they may just be able to kill Wee before he can really respond.
If you were still alive, I'd still be shooting.
Yeah, they are playing like lane or Ember whack-a-mole on the lanes for a bit, but it's just Weaver is accruing net worth more quickly than pretty much anyone on Infamous. So it's just a question of, does making this Ember's like Radiant's timing just that little bit slower really make up for the fact that you're not farming on those two heroes in that time? And I think it does make up for it to an extent, but the StarLadder, he's going to have to make his way towards BKB so he doesn't get fried by the Ember at later points. And so the winner, like, they're all just kind of going, we need BKBs, guys.
Illusion.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, Infamous are really benefiting from the buffs though. They've got control over, well, both sides of their jungle. They're farming the enemy jungle as well to a certain extent. They're just generally profiting quite well from this. And Dazzle and Doom. Uh-oh.
What happened? Axe happened.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Thanks.
Moon's just like, I've had enough.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Yep, so this is pretty nice from DC, just posture up, take the tower, then force them back into defensive posture, but they're going to go immediately smoke up with 4 heroes. So if DC get caught here, then that means they have an avenue to actually maybe get their buildings threatened, but they're going to go straight for Roche actually. And they do kill it extremely quickly, so this is smooth.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
Every coin helps.
Well, I think the way DC saw this part of the game going was Ember pushes out all the lanes of BTs, and then Weaver walks with the team, and then he kind of forces them back to the objectives, and acts as that timer for Infamous to kind of pull them back from looking for ganks. But they managed to get quite a lot on the Ember. He's died like 4 or 5 times to these pickoffs, so...
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
You and I.
The shuttle flies.
Yep, they are, and they're making their way to the bot tier 2. Oh, StarLadder. Oh no, hook gets blocked.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It just feels like Infamous are getting these kills on Ember like through smoke moves, through waiting for like a minute on bot lane with 2 heroes, you know, and then DC just kind of move towards the enemy and they catch 1-2 heroes like immediately because of just positioning. So it feels like there's this just disparity in terms of coordination that's going on here. But they do have Doom up now. He has, well, it's close to 4 stuff. He's got his Blade Mail up. Cristiano will.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Weaver grows larger. I just think that the fact that it's just Ember in the late game, he's going Blade Mail, he's becoming, well, he's got his Radiance now. Overall, I think he's going to become a little bit overbearing unless they can get the Doom very quickly onto him. And given that there's no blink, like, it's just...
Dire's middle barracks are under attack. Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
So vulnerable.
Being dead is boring.
Go!
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, he's... yeah. Yep, overall, DC just... the Weaver is too big, he's just killing 2 heroes every fight. They can just start off the fight by blinking in into the enemy base and then hooking someone out. And it really feels that Infamous
Dire's top
really hard to hold because there's just so many ways that the fight can start and they won't be able to really follow up.
Dire's middle barracks is falling. Dire's top tower is under attack.
A golden thread.
It does come at the cost of the timber buyback, which is going to be slightly annoying for them. It feels like they're staying in the game off of the back of buybacks for the most part. If Winrod gets here in time, then they could probably get damage on the tower, but he's their only real building damage.
Radiant structures are fortified.
This is, yeah, Winona just picked up a DD, so they could lose a melee here, maybe, but they really are not effectual.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower
We just-
has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
By fire. Not so bad.
I have faith in Doom. Yeah, but yeah, they just basically didn't really have that much to fight with. They got 3-man, 3-4-man called by Axe, and the Axe showing off that 10-second BKB with great effectiveness.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Be ensnared in fire.
Dire's top barracks are under attack. Dire's top barracks has fallen.
Oh ho ho ho.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's bottom barracks are under attack. Dire's bottom barracks has fallen. Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
Well, if we must play the style where they just kind of they go for ganks to the extent where like they sacrifice farm to a large extent really, and if you die to any of them, it extends the game. But I don't think it really, you're not really that likely to lose. See if you get picked off by this, because sure, Emblem will die like 4 or 5 times, but Weaver farm that whole time, Axe farm that whole time, supports both got decent levels. They were picking up bounty runes because they have map control, and it's just Infamous. Like it looks like they're doing really really well, but and they're getting these pickoffs, but they pay so much for every single one, and I don't think they really had the heroes or the real positioning to like play the fights later on. Like you saw like StarLadder and Doom walking right next to each other for a long period of time.